wouldn't hear your music and they pulled your paintings down. Wouldn't read your writing and they banned you from the town. But they couldn't stop you dreaming and a victory you won. For you sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. In your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. You sowed the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons.
I'd like to welcome Mara Levine to the program today. And Mara is one of those unusual people. She doesn't play an instrument, but her instrument is right in her throat. And I've known Mara for quite a while. She's a great entertainer. You have 2 full studio albums now? Or
3, actually.
3? Okay.
My first one was Mara's Gems that came out in late 2008, but it came out to radio in March 2009. Mm-hmm. And that did pretty well for my first one. And that was co-produced with Manny Cravat. And I did all the harmony vocals pretty much on that one. And then my second album in 2013 was Jewels and Harmony. Mm-hmm. And that one I produced locally with Bob Harris as a co-producer. And I have wonderful fellow musicians on that one. One of my partners, Caroline Catronio, Pat Wichter and Joe Jenks, Brother Son, Gathering Time, Shannon Lambert Ryan from Runa. Who else is on that one? Elaine Romanelli. Cy Khan did a wonderful duet of The Dutchman by Michael Smith, and he wrote a song for the album. So a lot of great people on that one. And I promoted that myself to folk radio, and that wound up being the number one album. Uh-huh. Yeah, the third album, Facets of Folk, which came out in 2019. And Facets of Folk also had a lot of really wonderful special guests on it. And I had Ed Trickett from the original Bachmuir and Trickett, if you remember, play hammer dulcimer on a song called Tree of Life, which was written by Eric Peltonimi. Daughters and Sons by Tommy Sands with Kim and Reggie Harris and Gathering Time. And I had my bluegrass track, You Reap What You Sow by Susan Shan. I had actually recorded that with all top-notch bluegrass artists. Greg Blake, who, by the way, last night won the IBMA Male Vocalist of the Year Award last night at IBMA. Mark Schatz, Rob Ikes, Bob Harris, Andy Leftwich, Molly O'Brien, like all top-notch bluegrass people on that particular track. And that one also number 1 as a single on the folk chart. And the album itself was number 1 on the folk chart for 2019. And and you may notice all the jewelry themes on the titles of my albums. And that is because I have been a jewelry designer professionally for over 20 years. And it's really the jewelry sales that financed what I want to call my folk music habit. Yeah. You know, because it's not inexpensive to make an album. And I always joke that people say there's hundreds of dollars to be made as a folk musician. And I like to say, there's thousands to be spent.
You were talking about jewelry and the fact that that gets you the money to make the albums. Exactly. Have you actually made any money from these albums, or you just do it because you love it?
I think I'm very passionate about it. I do it because I love it. And yes, I've definitely sold some copies of it, but I don't think that I have ever sold enough that would recoup what I spent making them. Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of musicians have other jobs or do other things. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say, that, unless you are a very well-known musician, most of the people that you and I know that we associate with are relatively starving musicians that really, do this for the love of it, and yourself included. There are a couple are out there that are, making a good buck, And I recently spoke to George Mann, and George, he goes into nursing homes. He has great gigs in nursing homes. He has a whole setup. And, that's one way of making money in this business. But making an album, and, I get maybe 15 albums a week. And I had, I'm saying, goodness gracious. Some of them are good. Some of them are not great. Some of them, you're lucky you could even open up the album because it's so flimsy without any coding or identification of who the album is. So it's like, everybody's out there trying to make music, but very few are really successful.
I think it's even harder now since the pandemic, so many
Yes.
venues having closed,
Uh-huh.
Lots of venues having closed. And I think also because people can self-produce their own music and distribute their own music much easier with digital distribution, home studios. Whether or not it's as good a quality, I can't say, but the opportunity for people to make music and get out there is much greater, while I feel the number of venues are much smaller and the amount of money you can make is probably less because the industry has driven the manufacturing of CDs out and off the cliff. So you can't sell the product. Whereas you used to be able to sell the CDs. Not a lot of people are buying them anymore. So, but I do agree with you that I think a lot of folks are in it because they're passionate about their music and want to share their music. But it shouldn't be that way. It should be that we, musicians should be able to earn a living and sell their product. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Well, tell me about, you've made some videos, and we're going to show those to folks outside of being that you can't pick up a guitar right now and play for yourself. We're going to show a couple of videos that you did. So introduce one of those videos for me.
Sure. So one video we're going to see is an actual produced video, and the other one is going to be a concert recording video. So we'll talk about the produced video first. Okay. So during the pandemic, I joined Bell Buckle Records, and I had been in conversation with Valerie Smith before the pandemic about joining and making music, but because of the pandemic, really wasn't able to make any new music or go out and tour. So what we decided to do is take some of my existing music and make videos, official music videos, which I had never done. So we had done one for Susan Shan's You Reap What You Sow, where I was able to get all the bluegrass musicians who participated to send videos of themselves shot with their cell phones. And she met me on a farm, and we, filmed me there, and she put it all together. So that we're actually going to do a live performance video with Gathering Time of that song. So you folks can get a feel for what it's like to see me performing live in a concert setting. And with Gathering Time, my friends from Long Island, a trio from Long Island, we kind of folk things up. So it's not as bluegrassy. And we actually added an extra chorus and did some modulating and things like that. But it gives people an opportunity to see the audience participation, and the songs I select, to me, it's a rare song that grabs me. And Susan Shan's You Reap What You Sow was one of them. And it's got a catchy chorus. It's got a wonderful message, kind of about doing the best you can and it's kind of like do unto others as you would have done unto you, sort of a message, or, if you put forth your best effort, then you'll reap the rewards. So that song is called You Reap What You Sow. And that's going to be a live performance video with my friends Gathering Time from my CD release concert at the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. So you'll have an opportunity to see that.
When is that happening?
So that video, that clip that I sent you, that happened in 2019.
Okay. So
when Facets of Folk was released in 2019, I did a series of CD release concerts. So That's a clip from a film that was taken of that concert. You Reap What You Sow.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's it. Again, it's one of my favorite songs. And when I released it as a single, uh, it actually was #1 on the folk chart, but it was on the Bluegrass Today Grassicana chart for 22 weeks. And John Lawless, who's
Wow.
the editor of Bluegrass Today, actually did a write-up of the song and of me, basically, talking about crossover, people crossing over from folk to bluegrass and back. And he said that I did a great job and I was welcome in the bluegrass community, which was really amazing. It was absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome. And then when Valerie and I did the video, the official video, which hopefully will have a way for people to go to either my website to see the video or my YouTube page. So we released it to that song plus the Christmas song that I had recorded. We did videos for, and we released them to the Bluegrass Gospel / Gospel Market, where I had never released those songs before through Les Butler and Butler Music Group. He promotes music to the gospel market. So we released it to the gospel market, and also Bluegrass Today did a Facebook video campaign, and it got like thousands and thousands of views on Facebook. I don't know how real Facebook views are, but it's got 9,500 views on YouTube for the You Reap What You Sow official video. And every day when I check, more and more people are watching it. So that's really exciting. Something that I could do during the pandemic. And then the other song that we will see a video of is the official produced video for Arlen Bennett's song, Be the Change. And Be the Change is another wonderful song, like Facets of Folk, the last album. I have a number of songs of, I want to say, social conscience and events transpiring from 2017 in Charlottesville and beyond kind of motivated me to select songs from my repertoire that I had never recorded that were kind of songs of social conscience. By My Silence by Ellen Buxtell and Nick Annis is about that. Christine Lavin's song, The Moment Slipped Away, Daughters and Sons by Tommy Sands, and of course, Be the Change by Arlen Bennett. And in Be the Change, the song makes reference to Rosa Parks and to Gandhi. It doesn't mention them by name, but you recognize them through the story. And we made the video and re-released the song just before Election Day to really inspire people to go out and vote. So there's all kinds of wonderful imagery of people doing volunteer work. And I found this amazing statue of Rosa Parks I think I was in Jersey City. I went to Jersey City, which is not far from me, in Edison, New Jersey. And I filmed myself with my cameras standing and sitting by the Rosa Parks statue for the first verse of the song, which is about Rosa Parks. And then I had found another statue close by in Secaucus of Gandhi, but the footage didn't come out so great. So I did a lot of research online and found archival footage of Martin Luther King and of Gandhi that, I licensed. And with Efrat Shapira, who is a fellow artist that she's a wonderful artist, but she also, during the pandemic, became a video producer. She pivoted and developed a new skill because she couldn't go out. So between the two of us, the footage I shot, and we both looked online and found archival footage and contemporary footage. And so we worked together to make the story and put together this beautiful video that kind of illustrates their story and others, again, to help motivate people to affect change through nonviolent means. So that is Be the Change. And I recorded that with the wonderful Robin Greenstein and my friend Barbara Novick on harmony, and John Guth is on the instruments, and I think Bob Harris also is playing a guitar on that one. And so because it wasn't really safe to film together, we were going to film outside, the three women, but it rained. So Efrat set up like a clean room in her house where we came one at a time, and she filmed us against a green screen. And then she put us all together, kind of like superimposed us on the archival footage at points through the song. So you'll see that that's how that one was produced. So, you'll have an opportunity to see how that comes together. And Arlen was really thrilled. And and there's a story about how I met Arlen and came to do that song. Is my sister is a country western line dancer. She likes to dance. And Arlen was also a country western line dancer. So she met him through her country western dance. And then when they found out that he's a folk musician and I'm a folk musician, she said, "Oh, you guys have to meet, have to get together." And I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. So I'm like, I'm not going to meet somebody who's living in Pennsylvania. I'm in New Jersey. I mean, he's in Jersey. I'm in Pennsylvania. And then I moved back and she's like, "You got to meet Arlen." So when we met, musically, we were interested in some of the things each other was doing. And we started doing some collaborations. And in 2007, he hired me to be the harmony vocalist for his Summer's Voice album release. And this was one of the songs, Be the Change. And I said, "Oh, I absolutely love this. I would love to add it to my repertoire." And he gave me his blessing. And when I was recording and looking for material for Facets of Folk with a theme, it really fit the theme. And I approached him and he gave his blessing and we did a license for it. And the same thing when I went to do the video, I explained what I wanted to do and he gave his blessing and we did a license. So here we are. And I hope people really enjoy that video. And hopefully, again, you can give a link where they can watch it in addition to the program and enjoy it and share it, because I think it's got a great message. We've got elections coming up. So it'll motivate people to get out and vote, do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
A woman stepped on a bus like any one of us after a hard working day. She walked halfway back to a seat marked for blacks and took her place. She was someone who really understood how a law could be a crime. When she wouldn't give her seat to a white man on his feet, yes, it was time to be the change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change. Be the change. Many years before, another place, another war, in the struggle to be free, a wise barefoot man had his own plan to fight the enemy. He said it makes no sense to use violence as a means to an end. And we must rise above what they would do to us, or we become like them. So be the change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change. Be the change. It's the pull of a lever. It's the sound of your voice. It's now or never. Oh, it's a choice to be the change you want to see around you. Be the right in a world of wrong. Be the one to make a difference. Be the change.
Hey, you mentioned Christine Lavin. Let me read a quote from Christine. And she said, and this was a note to you. She said, Mara, I think you are one of the best singers of your generation. Every songwriter worth their salt should be sending you their tunes. You have such a beautiful, timeless quality to your voice, and you make beautiful recordings. I just love what you do, Christine Lavin. So that's really a nice compliment from Christine.
I was with, Gathering Time and I do a lot of touring together, this wonderful three-piece group from Long Island. And we do a lot of co-bills where they'll share a show with me and they'll support me on my half of the show. Anyway, we got booked to do the Folk Project Fall Festival, and Christine was a headliner, and we kind of opened for Christine. So she saw the set, and she even came up and twirled her baton. We invited her to come up and sing on a song with us, and she brought her baton up on stage. And I was selling my jewelry in the back of the room, and she was like from the stage going, I just got these beautiful earrings from Mara Levine. Everybody should go check out her jewelry. And so a few months later after that performance, maybe a couple months after that performance, she was on Facebook. She's always supporting other artists. And there was an artist that she was made a comment about how he showed up at one of her shows and she invited him to come up on stage, and he didn't have the instrument he normally plays, and he took a chance on playing the piano that was up on stage, and it went well. And she said, you should always take a chance, go to other people's shows and take a chance. And I made a comment about how supportive, she is to everyone. And that was on Facebook. That quote was her response to me saying, thank you for being so supportive to so many of us.
To tell me his secret for making things grow. I'll always remember that look in his eye as he studied God's acre and gave his reply. You reap what you sow, so you better plan wisely, that the harvest may yield you a bounty of good. You get what you give, so give completely, and all your deeds will return as they should. Why he went to such measure to make it the best, without hesitation, without missing a beat. He put that bread in the oven and said these words to me. You know them. You reap what you sow, so you better plan wisely, that the harvest may yield you a bounty of good. You get what you give, so give completely, and all your deeds will return as they should. Take it, Jerry.
I'm here speaking with Mara Levine. And Mara, tell me your website. You mentioned your website, and of course, folks will want to go there and take a look.
Sure. So it's www.maralevine.com, and I'll spell that for you. MARALEVINE, maralevine.com. And on my website, it does, I don't have much coming up right now just due to family health situations.
Yeah.
We're still fairly isolated. I'm home with my parents who have multiple health conditions, so we're still trying to be super, super careful.
Yeah.
But there are some links to videos, performance videos you can watch. I have a YouTube channel. If you look up Mara Levine's YouTube channel, I've got some of those, all three of the produced videos on the front page of my website. You can scroll down and watch these produced videos that I mentioned. The Christmas video, it's called Straw Against the Chill. Beautiful Bob Franke song about the nativity that I recorded with Joe Jenks. And we did the video for that one is more illustrations. It's not a live action. It's got some film clips of like the only, I think, live action one I have, a couple are with Mary and Joseph walking, when she's pregnant, trying to get to shelter. But there's a lot of beautiful images that we collected. Paid the royalties for everything, of course. And I think people will enjoy that as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I certainly always enjoy talking with you and listening to your music. And I'm glad that the folks here on Catskills Air had a chance to meet you and hear you, and hopefully check out your website and get Mara's albums. Mara, thanks again. Have a great afternoon, and I'll be talking to you pretty soon.
Great. Thank you so much, Artie. Take care.
Thank you, Mara. Bye-bye.
And buck-eyed blossoms blooming on the tree of life, quilted by the lantern light, every stitch a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, stitch away. Hattie's choice. Wheel of